Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back to my series where I watch 90s rom-coms for the first time. The last one that I watched was Clueless, and that was the first one in my list of movies to watch, and let's just say it ate down. If you want to watch it, I'll probably link it up here and in the description, but let's get into today's. So today we're diving into another 90s classic, and it's 10 Things I Hate About You. So this was actually my first time seeing a lot of the actors that I was like, oh, I've seen them before, but I haven't seen what they popped off in, you know? This movie has everything from the one-liners, of course, teenage angst, and obviously the prom scene that will take you back even if you weren't alive in the 90s. So let's talk about 10 Things I Hate About You, starting from the opening scene. It sets the tone perfectly because obviously we see this group of white girls bumping their cutesy girly little music, and then boom, Kat shows up, very grungy, very rebel. That was the vibe that I first got from her. Her character immediately is very much giving, I'm not like the other girls. I'm different. Don't with me, I'm different. It was such an iconic way to introduce her vibe as well as her character. Speaking of vibes, how about that teacher, Miss Perky? What? Oh my god, first of all, that would never pass in today's day and age. And I'm talking about real life. Sure, you can put anything in a movie, and that's why we love movies. But her character was insane. First of all, the name, obviously, we know what they're trying to do there. But then the fact that she's writing erotic fiction on the clock? She obviously would rather be somewhere else. That is very apparent to us, but it kind of just gives, you know, someone in the school system that doesn't want to be working in the school system, which unfortunately I feel like is a lot of people. Then we meet Cameron, who is very obviously the new kid at school, and Michael kind of takes him under his wing and shows him around. He's, you know, saying here's this group, here's the Cowboys, and then he introduces the White Rasta crew. And honestly, it's surprisingly self-aware, especially for that time period, because he kind of calls out their appropriation and is like, they're really, they think they're black, or like they want to be black, which is like, yeah, they do. So just being self-aware and kind of calling out this trope before it was a mainstream conversation kind of added a layer of depth to it while still keeping it light and comedic. Now let's talk about the favorite sisters, Bianca and Kat. They could not be more different, and you know, when we first see Bianca, the heavenly music plays. She's obviously the dream girl of the school. Michael even tells Cameron as soon as he sees her, like, don't even bother, way out of your league. You know, she's the girl that everyone wants. She's got the Prada backpack, the perfect hair, all the guys want her. While Kat is that sharp tongue, no nonsense older sister. The dynamic between these two sisters is like night and day, very much giving golden retriever and black cat energy. Now, Bianca and Kat's father have some house rules. It's really just one, that they can't date. But then he changes it and he says, okay, Bianca, you can date once Kat dates, which obviously she throws a fit because that's basically never, and probably not going to be for a very long time. This whole problem causes a perfect setup for the plot, you know? Here's the issue that we need to tackle, how are we going to solve it? And of course, they play a little bit into that classic trope of absent mother, workaholic dad, which we also saw in Clueless, but I was excited to see how they were gonna go about it. The fashion also played a part in this. Obviously, Bianca has this very 90s cutesy style, whereas Kat has a more relaxed, boyish style, but I actually found both of them pretty cute. Pretty cute. They were kind of not super stylish, just because, again, I watched Clueless first, which I feel like I shouldn't have because it just set the bar so high, but they are appropriately giving the 90s vibe. Now, fast forward to the party scene and Kat gets absolutely wasted. Thankfully, Patrick her date, or trying to be her date, was there to take care of her, and it was kind of surprising to see this softer, caring side of him, but of course, every character has layers to them, and I figured something like that would happen. This is the moment that kind of goes from Kat and Patrick being antagonistic strangers to developing something more. It's such a feel-good moment, and it's also a turning point for not just Kat and Patrick, but also Joey and Bianca, because this is kind of when Bianca realizes, oh, Joey only is obsessed with himself. He's very superficial, and she's kind of, the gears are turning in her head of like, I really wanted this guy. I even wanted my sister to find a date just so I could date this guy, and now she's like, I actually don't like him. Which of course sets up a perfect scenario for Cameron to swoop in and show he's the better option. Of course, Patrick serenading Kat on the bleachers. You know, she's at soccer practice. He comes down the bleachers performing his song. First of all, him on the bleachers, that little whatever that move is, very much giving Joker, which obviously I know Heath Ledger played Joker. I haven't seen it, but I do know that like that was his main role that he was known for. Obviously that came after, but that scene on the bleachers, especially just dancing down the steps, was so giving Joker, like so much. It was uncanny. I was like, okay, now I get it. I get why he got casted for the role. And obviously his smile. Put a little red lipstick over that. He's literally the Joker. Obviously the ending is very heartwarming. I figured, I was like, I know at some point, I know how these movies go, and that's kind of like the predictable aspect is kind of the charm of these 90s rom-coms. Me, only seen 2, but you can assume, and obviously that trope is used now today. We love a feel-good moment, and at the end I did know. I was like, Patrick's little secret of getting paid to date Kat is gonna come out eventually, and I kept checking the TV. I was like, when is this over? I feel like it's about to be over and she hasn't found out. I was like, whoa, are they gonna trip me up? But no, of course, they didn't. Of course, she finds out at the prom, very devastating, very sad, but he makes it up to her, gets her a guitar, he's very thoughtful, you know, he got rid of the money, which I also, well, he used the money to buy the guitar, which I felt was like, not only like a romantic, loving moment, but also was like him proving like I did this, or at first he did it for the money, but then he was like, I actually do really like you and care about you, which perfect ending scene. Now that we've broken the movie down, let's get into ratings. I kind of already explained the ratings in the last video, but let's refresh. So there's 5 different categories. The first one is chemistry, and that's just kind of how well do the romantic leads connect. The next category is plot strength, and that's just kind of breaking down whether the plot is engaging and well-paced or not. The next category is laugh factor. Kind of just, does the humor land? Does it resonate? Is it funny overall? Fourth category is timelessness. Obviously, these movies were made in the 90s and quite some time has passed. So it's kind of just evaluating if it stands up today or does it feel stuck in its era. And the last category is fashion score, of course. But are the outfits memorable? Are they iconic? We'll see. Each category gets a score out of 5, which is a total of 25. Let's get into it. For the chemistry score, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. The chemistry between Kat and Patrick is electric, and I don't know if this was just a little something that I felt or noticed, but every time they would kiss, I was like, why does this just feel like a real kiss? I need to look up if they dated in real life. Maybe they did, I don't know, but it just felt so real and the chemistry felt very electric. From their witty banter to their romantic moments, it all feels very real. Even the side couples like Bianca and Cameron, or Michael and what's her name? Michael and his little Shakespeare princess. Like even those stories were very engaging, and obviously Bianca and Cameron's like, oh, she found the right guy. So it's very satisfying. Next, for plot strength, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. The movie's setup and progression is clever, but let's be real, the ending was the most predictable thing ever. That said, it works for the genre, and I'm self-aware enough to know that there's a charm about rom-coms, and that charm is kind of the feel-good aspect, the predictability that comes with it, and it wasn't that big of a problem for me, which is why I only docked it down half a point. For laugh factor, I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5. The humor is solid, especially with Kat's witty clapbacks, but for me, especially, I hate to mention it again, but especially after watching Clueless, I just can't help but feel it's not as funny. It could have been funnier. I felt like funny wasn't the main objective of this movie, which is fine, but that's why it's getting that rating. For timelessness, I'm gonna give it a solid 4 out of 5. While the themes of high school crushes, sibling rivalries, and finding love are timeless, certain phases and stereotypes do feel a little outdated. Just saying. Especially the use of the R word. I don't know what it is with this time period, but they are obsessed with saying the R word, and it just makes me uncomfortable. Obviously, people don't use it very much today. But it's, you know, a sign of the times. Lastly, for fashion score, honestly, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, okay? Don't hate me. The outfits are quintessential 90s looks, but I don't feel like it quite hit that iconic status. There were a couple memorable looks like Bianca's first opening outfit and also Kat's prom dress. Oh, beautiful color. Love the little shawl or scarf that she wore over it. The silk is very beautiful and timeless. The hair, that's another story. Bianca's prom outfit, that's another story. I just felt like, again, after watching Clueless, which is like known for the fashion, like people aren't dressing up, or maybe they are, but people aren't dressing up as Kat in her little everyday school outfits for Halloween. You know, like people are dressing up as Dion and Cher. They are. And I do also understand that this movie wasn't so focused about the fashion. Like for Clueless, that was a huge part of it, the same way in Sex and the City, like the fashion is a huge part of it. And that's fine. Like I'm totally cool with this not, you know, being focused on the fashion, but I gotta give it a 3 out of 5. Sorry. That means the total score is 20 out of 25. Not bad, not bad. Honestly, I would rate so many movies so much lower. So that's honestly really good. Obviously, I have certain categories on purpose because if I were just rating movies on did I like it or not, I'd say I'm pretty harsh. So having the categories definitely helps, so that's a good score. Honestly, 10 Things I Hate About You was a rom-com masterpiece. It mixes humor, heart and heartbreak, and a touch of rebellion, which I always like, especially in a woman. It was so good. Kat's character, so enjoyable. And it's not just about high school drama, it's about finding connections, breaking stereotypes, and learning to love even when it's messy. What did you guys think of 10 Things I Hate About You? Did you watch it recently? Probably not, but let me know your thoughts. Did I miss any of your favorite moments? This is just a synopsis, so go easy on me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but until next time, bye!